Good morning, everybody. It is Monday morning, April 3rd. So it was quite the weekend in the Midwest, starting on Friday night. I know a lot of you don't live around here, but I'm just going to give you a brief overview of what happened. We knew we had tornadoes, potential tornadoes coming in, and so I kind of started watching the weather late on Friday, trying to figure out what time they were going to hit Indiana. If you live in the Midwest and you've never watched Ryan Hall Y'all on YouTube, you should. He had an 11-hour live cast of the whole storm that was coming through. And I think on Friday night, there were 14 to 18 tornadoes that he was watching all at one time. He kept moving back and forth, and he was like, I'm so sorry, you guys. There are so many. I'm having a hard time like landing on one and just talking about it, because it was like as soon as one would pop up, another one would pop up, and another one and another one. So when you're watching this major storm in the state west to you, and you know it's heading your way, that's a little nerve-wracking. And it's coming at night. It's coming after I would normally be in bed. So what I ended up doing was I was talking to someone by text, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go take a nap, because I kind of had a feeling I might be up all night with the storms. And I'm going to go lay down and try to get a little bit of rest before this hits. And whatever, I laid down, I put a protection bubble around my building, and I kind of surrendered to the universe and said, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. There's nothing I can do about this. And I woke up a couple of different times. I would look outside, didn't see, like major damage or anything like that. I could see that it had rained. I never got woke up. I even had my window open a little bit, because I'm thinking, the wind whipping around, or the lightning flashing, or whatever, if there's going to be hail up against the window, I'm going to hear that. And I was up and down a couple of times, but I never heard any major weather where I lived. And I got up the next morning, and I'm kind of like, gosh, I look out the window, and I'm kind of like, it looks like we kind of got saved where I was at. My protection bubble must have worked, because I was working on it dissipating. I kept saying, dissipate before you get to Carmel, dissipate, dissipate. And it apparently did, because we did not have any major destruction where I live. However, I got up the next morning, I was on Facebook and saw someone that I went to grade school with in Crawford County, Illinois, is where I grew up. I went to Flat Rock grade school. I graduated from Palestine High School. I lived in Robinson and worked in Robinson before I moved up here. So I still have a lot of friends on Facebook from there. And one of the gals that I went to grade school with, who I'm friends with, had posted, she's like, we lost our roof last night, but we are okay. So that was the first indication that something serious happened in Palestine, because I was not up when it came through. I had already gone to bed. I had quit watching Ryan Hall, and I had kind of just given up on whatever happens. So on Saturday morning when I got up was when I realized a tornado had gone through my hometown. So I'm sending out text messages early that morning. Are you guys okay? I sent that out to 4 people first. 2 of them responded back, yes, we're okay. One of them works at the hospital and lives like across the field from my brother and sister-in-law. And she's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm at work, but it took me like an hour and a half to get to work, because the power lines were down everywhere. Trees were down everywhere. And it would have normally been a 20-minute drive. I did not hear from my sister-in-law or my brother until about noon that they were okay. They had lost power. The cell services were down where they were at. So finally, that's really stressful when you've got family in a town where a tornado has gone through and you haven't heard from everybody yet. I kind of assumed, since they lived so close to Stephanie and she was okay, they were okay, and she had made it into the hospital, that made me feel a little bit better, because I was like, well, if the tornado had literally ripped through there, she would have known it. It happened up farther north, and it like took a diagonal through the whole county. And then the pictures of everything started coming out throughout the day. Like, it just like nailed the little airport down there. There's a road by the river. I travel all the time when I would come in and out of like Indianapolis and South. Houses. I mean, there's a lot of farmers down there. Farm implements that had just the destruction was mind blowing. I've seen tornadoes on TV before. I have never been that close to a tornado before. The last time we had a major one that come through Indianapolis, I was actually in Illinois when it hit, and it was way farther south than me. So I know these locations that this tornado hit. I think they had 3 fatalities down there, but thankfully all of my family seemed to make it out okay and didn't have any major destruction to their property. But it was a rough weekend emotionally, just having that happen and knowing what was going on. And I mean, even on Saturday morning when I woke up, even though I slept somewhat decent Friday night, because at 11:30, once I realized, or like the next time I woke up, the big storm that was supposed to be coming through that was the worst for us was already gone. Things had cleared out. And then I was like, okay, I think now I can relax and I can go back to sleep. But I don't know if they had my soul up working all night, because when I woke up on Saturday morning, I felt like I had been up all night, and I felt like I had been hit by a Mack truck. There was a lot of energy that came through central, like the Midwest, over the weekend. Someone made a comment that I should ask the cards if that was done by Gaia or if that was done by the bad guys. So I am going to ask that, if I can get a read on that. And I also kind of want to ask if I feel like there might be a curse on Crawford County, Illinois, because we have a Fort Lamont in Palestine, and there's some Indian burial grounds around there. So before I was born, I think Palestine came into play in like early 1800s, and the War of 1812. Some of that took place where I grew up. And, back in, I think, 1992, there was a murder that happened there. There's some weird shit that's happened in Crawford County, Illinois. And I know that once upon a time I heard there were more people that had cancer in Crawford County, Illinois than any place around there, and like in a lot of places. And so it's like, as I got to thinking about this over the weekend, I kind of wonder if this storm that came through was meant to clear out maybe some old negative energy and bring in some new, because it kind of looked like, just based on some stuff that I was seeing, my nose is itching really bad now. Might be a sign. That it looked like maybe some new stuff was coming in, some new businesses, some good stuff was coming in. So I wonder if, I just kind of wonder if this storm that came through was there to clear out negative energy. So let me think how I want to ask this question. The tornado that hit Crawford County, can you show me the reason for it? Can you show me the reason? Okay. Okay. So the Empress card just came out. That would be, to me, that they're going to be giving new birth to Crawford County. Can you tell me why that tornado came through Crawford County? What was the purpose of that? Okay, the Two of Swords came out. So I guess they're trying to make some decisions, because it is, for a long time, it was declining. It was going down, down, down. People were leaving. A lot of the people that I went to grade school and high school with left that county. You had two options down there. You could work at the marathon. You could be a few options. You could be a farmer. You could work at the Heath Candy Plant. Well, it's Hershey's now, but it used to be Heath Candy Plant. So it feels like they want people to make the decision. And I also saw so many people online. They were coming together. People were cleaning out their refrigerators because they had no electricity. And a lot of them still don't have electricity down there. So they have all this food that's going to waste. So it's like my heart breaks for a county that already didn't have a lot going for them. And then to have this come through, it's like everybody thinks Chicago is the only part of Illinois that's ever around. I mean, I say I'm from Illinois and immediately everybody always thinks Chicago. No, there's a whole other state south of there. And Crawford County feels like it's kind of been forgotten about. And now it's not, because now there is a state of emergency down there. The governor's going to have to put some money into Crawford County because the whole flippin' county pretty much got destroyed, or a lot of it. Okay, what was the reason? I feel like this one wants to come out too. It was stuck and stagnant. It's the Knight of Swords. They had a lot of stuck and stagnant thinking down there. So they're trying to get some new. Okay, all right. I'm just gonna keep going. I'm jumping ahead here. What was the purpose of the tornado that came through? Ace of Swords. Okay, again. Outdated, that's the thought. Outdated thinking. Okay, what was the purpose? Okay, I'm going to keep going. What was the purpose of the tornado that came through Crawford County? What was the purpose of the storm that came? That one wanted to come out and I caught it. Okay. What was the purpose of the tornado? Okay, we got a bunch. I think I'm going to stop here. Okay. So we have the Empress because they're trying to rebirth something in Crawford County. They want people to make a decision about what is important to them. The Knight of Swords, again, whatever I said before was, what did I say? Was they've got some outdated thoughts and they want people to move forward and let go of what got lost and move forward on some positive thinking and attitudes and everything. There's a lot of stuck emotions, people, thoughts, a lot of, that whole county down there, a lot of them got the vaccine. I have a cousin that was big into promoting it. I used to watch that on Facebook. So there's a lot of people in Crawford County that rely on the government because it is a pretty poor county. A lot of disabled people. When I say they do not physically, a lot of them don't physically take care of themselves. It's a very unawakened community. Ace of Swords, they're wanting them to think of things awaken to different ways of thinking. And the Two of Wands, they want him to move forward and look forward to a different world. So this destruction that went through Crawford County feels like it was to get them out of that old way of thinking, and they're going to have to pull together. So they are going to have to lean on each other and see that there is another way. And the first gal, I'll tell you what, if they didn't believe in God before, they probably do now. Six of Wands. So there's a lot of people down there that are very proud of things that are irrelevant. Because this guy, the Six of Wands, he's walking through, I feel like he's gloating. There's a lot of people that are proud of stuff they shouldn't be proud of. And I feel like a lot of that is probably possessions. And I came from that place. And so, I grew up in that county, that town from a family that kind of if you had a Cadillac, you were something. That's one of the reasons I got my head in so far into debt when I moved in up here, was because I was trying to prove that I was doing okay and that I could, support myself. And all I was doing was putting it on credit cards, and ended up like ruining a lot of things in my life because of my old way of thinking. And I think a lot of those people down there probably have that. The King of Swords. Let me think. Let me think here. I got the Devil card at the very end too. So I feel like it's something to do. Hang on, I'm jumping ahead here, and my nose is itching really bad. Let me think about this. We've got the Eight of Swords. So so the word law of attraction just popped into my head. A lot of people live in a self-imposed prison down there. Because it's so poor, a lot of them have just accepted that way of living, and they don't realize that their law of attraction has worked against them instead of for them. So it's that addiction. There's an addiction to their way of thinking, because I'm getting so much like swords. There's a lot of swords cards here, and Page of Pentacles. So I feel like that is, they're wanting them to rethink their way of getting money, because a lot of them, like I said, a lot of them probably are on government assistance down there, and a new way of clearing out their emotions, because a lot of them, I'm going to say a lot of them are very programmed down there. A lot of them have a lot of childhood wounds that they haven't cleared out. So I don't have a lot of cups here, which is interesting. I would have thought I would have had more cups, but it's more about thoughts. There's a lot of swords cards here, and moving out of the way of thinking. So they're trying to rebirth a new way of thinking, and get them out of that stuckness. Okay, so I guess that's, there's a reason why stuff like this happens. I do not feel like this was like the bad guys that did this. I feel like this was something that I wondered all weekend. Was this like a clearing from the universe to get people to, get out of that stuckness? It's like when the universe wants you to make a move and you are ignoring the universe and not listening to what you are like being urged to do. Sometimes the universe will throw you out of your nest. And this kind of feels like this might be a lot of what happened, is the people in Crawford County, or the ones who were in their old, unproductive, stuck thinking, just got thrown out of their nest. And now they're going to have to fly and figure out a new way of doing things. Anyway, well, if you made it to the end here, thank you for watching. I will probably do, I don't know, we'll do some other stuff tomorrow about, I don't know what we'll do tomorrow. We'll just see what we do tomorrow. This is what we did today, though. This is what's on my mind. So, like, subscribe, and share if you enjoyed this video. If you made it this far and you listened to what I talked about here, thanks. I know this doesn't mean a lot to everybody because this is not your specific county, but there were a lot of tornadoes that went through the central United States over the weekend. So I would imagine it's kind of the same story in all of them. Not necessarily, but I would feel like at least more of them probably was the universe doing a clearing. And anyhow, thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.